Hey, good afternoon. This is Derek from Roof It Forward on a home here in Canton on Harbin Drive. I'm just going to go over a few things that I see. We can talk about them later if you have any questions, but we'll just kind of go from left to right and just start that way. So if you look, first thing I notice when I get up here, it's very degranulated. I think the home inspector mentioned that. So there's just not a lot left to the shingle. Underneath the shingle is just fiberglass matting, and that's pretty much all that's left on most of these shingles. So if you look at the ridge here, see how they're kind of a little bit darker and then the gray. So that's some of the grain still left there, but it's still wearing away really, really quickly. See down here on the eave here. So all these shingles are broken. Um, Same there. You can see a big chunk missing there. So as those shingles were cut too long or left too long because there's no gutter, so they're not really meant to be laying like that. So they just flipped over and then just broke off with age. Um, we'll start with this slope. Obviously, we've got multiple missing shingles. So this is where wind has probably gotten up under here with the age and just completely ripped off the top layer of shingle. So you can see rusted nail heads all the way up. There's one that's completely through the next layer. They're all rusted. So when a shingle's like that, obviously it's not protecting anything. Water's getting to those nail heads, and the decking around here feels not great. I'll talk about that more in a minute. Um, Another big group there, one there, one on the ridge there. It's rusted. So anything that's got rust obviously has water going to it, and it's going to start rusting out. They also have a large amount of debris in this valley here, which looks like it's been here for quite a while. It's sun bleached. So if you get down here to this valley, you can put your finger underneath it, so it's loose. So water is going to hang up in that debris. It can get up under that valley, and it can start causing some problems too. And there's just a piece of shingle laying right there. Let's see if we can pull it out. So it's been there for a while. Another thing I wanted to point out, so a lot of the shingles are loose because they've lost adhesiveness and age. So just I was kind of just going around, just kind of touching them, seeing how they feel. This one came up. So this shingle's still here, and it's got rusted nails underneath. So that tells me that water is getting up under these shingles, possibly through the matting because it's so degraded, and it's rusting out those nails, even though there's still a shingle there. So when I walk around, a lot of the decking feels really weak. So that's probably a good indicator. So a lot of times you're not going to get leaks on a ceiling or drywall because of a roof leak. You're going to get it because water just gets up underneath that matting and just starts degrading the decking from there. So here's one. Looks like it was probably recently ripped off. That's more of like maybe a limb hit it or a critter possibly. And you see that nail head is just barely starting to get rusted. Over here you've got some torn shingle. You've got a good hole right there in the shingle. We'll go along more with the back. There's a piece of shingle just hanging out here on the back. It's been there for a while, probably from the front. So the issue we have is a lot of these pipe boots like this were incorrectly covered up. So you can still see exposed nail heads that are rusted. So that goes through the decking. Obviously water can get in there and cause some issues. You can see that this bounces there. Same thing with that. So somebody at one point had put some caulking on that, but it's all worn away now. So we're having some issues. Same thing here. Ooh. So I just stepped right there, and it's so I can feel my foot just pushing against that decking. It looks like a bunch of like just rusted water runoff from there. So it's probably, if I had to make a guess, I bet it's not too pretty up under here. Oh yeah, look at that. So there you go. So rusted nail heads, water getting up under the shingles. All right, so we'll go. So you got a crack right there. Looks like it's almost going into the attic space. So that, see the fascia board right there. On this side, we don't really have any real significant wind damage as far as they're blown off, but we do have some wind damage. So let's see if you can see. So across the top of that shingle, see that dark line? there. That means the shingle has been lifted up by the wind, sat back down. This one is just totally loose. Call this slide out, so it's just not properly installed. Here's another one that I found. I just lifted up in random to check out the nails underneath, and they're super rusted. Another wind-broken one there. Shingles just laying in the valleys here. So all in all, I mean, this roof is pretty much toast. It's seen the end of its day. I would not be able to recommend repairing it because of the age. So take, for example, this group of shingles here. In order to repair, you'd have to remove this nail, nails up here, nails around it, pull out all of this that's left over. And to do that, you need to lift up these shingles like this, lift up, lift up, lift up all around, and then reinsert and then lift them all back up to re-nail. But as you lift these up, they're so old and brittle, they're going to start just breaking along the top. You can see those grains just brushing off. So in conclusion, roof is non-repairable. It needs to be replaced. There's probably some decking that needs to be replaced as well. Can't really see that, but I can feel it just walking around. And especially with those rusted nail heads under the shingles, I mean, that just shows that there's probably a ton of water damage up under there, as well as all those penetrations. I'll also go ahead and get measurements for insulation and gutters, because it looks like it was recommended you get that, which I agree with. So anyways, I'll shoot this over to you. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll work up prices for everything, and then you can go from there. Have a good day.